Carter Sports back, and today we finna talk about the USC fans' reaction from this latest transfer portal commitment. So let's go. And if you been here before, can you please hit that like, please? And if you ain't subscribed, boy, you better subscribe. Trojan family, Trojan gang, fight on forever's in the building. And today we finna talk about the USC fan reaction from this latest transfer portal picked up a wide receiver. So once I seen it, I thought it was a linebacker, Charles Ross, from the 2025 class. I was about to be like, oh, I didn't see that coming, let's go. But then I find out it's a transfer portal guy. Right? It's a transfer portal guy. He's a wide receiver. So I'm curious. I was curious to see the USC fans' reaction to this. You know what I'm saying? We got a split fan base, y'all. We got one side of the fan base that's gonna cheer on everything we do. And I ain't mad at that. Rightfully so. You love your team. You an optimistic type of fan. Very optimistic. I ain't mad at that. And then you got the other side that gonna keep it real and they feelings. Not saying that the optimistic side ain't keeping it real how they feel, but then you got the other side that's gonna speak the hardcore truth and like to address the elephant in the room, which is the defensive tackle position. So it was curious to see the USC fans' reaction. Let's check out a couple of these reactions from the USC fan base from signing this latest wide receiver. We got Johnny. He said another wide receiver. Then you got Ball Knower. Just what the doctor ordered, more wide receiver with the laughing face. Then you got Trojan Boy 124. He like it. He like, let's go. Omar Gutierrez said 12 receivers for 3 spots. Genius. The notorious OMB said, can he play D-line? Then you got USC FTFO. We know what that is, right? He got the question mark face like, what's going on? Van City SWAT like, seems like a lot of receivers, but okay. Welcome aboard. Jamie says solid depth. Really? Think he being sarcastic. Anthony in LA said just check 247 and they have him as a whole Ohio Bobcat. Michael James said just what we needed. Think that's sarcasm. Then on YouTube, another comment, don't really get it, but Lincoln Riley likes depth at wide receiver. LFG like with the looking eyes, like he thinking, I don't know. He thinking like what's going on, I guess. Angus Rule said, do they need it? How about alignment? Trojan Forever said, this is worse recruiting than Helton. I don't know about that, bro. You feel me? I don't know. Well, to tell you the truth, Helton actually was solid during recruiting. He wasn't too bad. It's that the team sucked. We couldn't never put together a team, but I think the health and recruiting class has sent a couple of pairs to the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else said this has to be an educational move more than a football move for this kid. Plus he adds more depth. For injuries for us, other than that, it doesn't make sense to transfer here since he won't get much playing time, most likely. Roadwork said we need defensive tackles, not wide receivers. Seriously? Then Magna Mater said, what do you mean we hater? USC Beastmo said, no disrespect, USCJ, but the defense we had couldn't stop my 90-year-old grandmother on her rocker. She could have scored on our defense. So I guess he like, show me the defensive players. Another comment, nice wide receiver addition, but we need 2 D linemen and 1 more O lineman. Hopefully we could get them soon. Fight on. Hope we could get them soon. Fight on. Angel USC, class of 78. This comment, strictly a depth piece. His numbers aren't exactly stellar, so don't expect too many snaps or production. Maybe a special teams participant. Grateful, but wish it was a defensive tackle. You ain't alone. Illmatic Trojan said, talk about lost in the lame sauce. Lincoln Riley just can't help himself. This is the last position to need. If we need bodies, it need to be in the trenches. From Illmatic Trojan. You're hilarious. I'm a former D1 athlete myself and SC alum. I like Coach Lincoln Riley, but I'm also sick of him squandering talent like Dorian Singer, among others at wideout, and overloading at that spot when we need more depth in the trenches. If you knew anything about this sport, you would know the game is won or lost in the trenches, homie. And I totally agree with that. That comment from up and down from Illmatic Trojan. Right? This is the thing. When we get into all these receivers, transfers, plus guys you recruited out of high school, you gonna feel the onus and pressure to play all of them. You gonna want to play Jaden Richardson because he left his college to come play for you, believe in you and what you sold him. I'm pretty sure you sold him on making him a better receiver and a better player. Same thing for Jay Fair, right? Cal Ford come back, same thing for him, right? Charles Ross come. Like, as a coach, when you sitting there asking a player to transfer to your school, right? Because Charles Ross just can't walk into USC and be like, I'm coming. He was contacted. So I don't know how you could talk to a player who's playing and not sell him on playing. I don't think this kid walked in the transfer portal just to get a better degree than San Jose State. I feel like he want to play at a better university, at a more prestigious university. So a part of your recruiting pitch, I'm pretty sure, was making him a better player. So you're going to feel the onus on the play then. And then you got your young freshman who's sophomore now, all studs, all stars, and all showed they deserve to play, and you should be excited to play them. You have to play them. So now you find yourself, and then Kyron Rare-Hudson, the veteran, you find yourself with 100 wide receivers that you all feel obligated to let play. And that's what he mean by squandering talent. Each wide receiver that USC acquires, that means less snaps for all of them. And that just me going based off what I seen Lincoln Riley do the last 2 seasons. Every available wide receiver is gonna play, right? And that's not necessarily a good thing, because kids can't see their full potential. Kids can't really tear it up like they want to. Kids can't really build that chemistry with their quarterback like they want to, because they're not getting the average snaps as most wide receivers. So when you got to share snaps with 10, 11 wide receivers, then that's hurting your development and your production. You head into the NFL. So I get what he's saying. Then the dude replied, if you actually were a fan of USC, then you will know that the D-line is already set for the season, and they have more than enough talent up front. 8 D tackles, 7 D ends, and edge rushers on the roster, by the way. I agree, we got numbers, but it's all unproven. Kobe Pepe ain't proven yet. He been there this long, he ain't really made an impact. G-Day Abasari, Carlon Jones, they freshmen. We can't put that pressure on them. Radu Manu, he's a freshman. We can't put that pressure on him. Elijah Hughes is coming to his sophomore season. We don't know. Is he going to take that next step Anthony Lucas ain't proved it yet. We got only guy that really proved it on our defensive roster is Bear Alexander. Like, what other defensive lineman proved that he's gonna cause wreck? I mean, Nate Clifton proved last year at Vanderbilt that he belong at this level and he can contribute in a Power 5 conference and actually be a plus player. But besides Bear and Nate, who has really proved it on the college level that they ballers? Nobody. So that depth is all potential. When you try to win, you don't want all your whole unit basically all potential. You need some proven and then some players with potential. At this point, the 8D tackles and the 7D edges we talking about, most of them ain't even proven. It's all potential. And it's talent, it's good potential, and you believe in your coaching, right? But it's still potential. We still got to see it. So I agree with you. We do got the bodies, and it could turn out. Like, if all the defensive linemen on our roster step their game up, upgrade, and play to their talent level or play to what they was looked out coming out of high school and projected to be and live up to their potential, then yeah, we cool. But this college football, half the kids don't live up to their potential and the other half do. You know what I'm saying? So we just got to see. It's still a question mark. The Illmatic came again and said that's highly subjective. We are 1 or 2 injuries from being in a difficult spot with the schedule we face, and the experience and talent dropped off dramatically after the first string. Hopefully some of these incoming talented freshmen can get up to speed quickly. Yes, the freshmen can offset it, right? Remember, Bear Alexander played as a freshman in the SEC. So let's say if Carline Jones, let this think positively. Say if Carline Jones and G.D. Abasiri is the next Bear when it comes to being able to play and contribute early. Would Gavin Meyer, now that's 4 right there. That's 4 solid right there in the middle. Jones, Abasiri, Meyer, and Bear, right? And them freshmen, they big kids. Like, so in theory, yeah, if our freshman is able to play day one, then yeah, we straight. We good, actually. We good. But the chances of that is, you know what I'm saying? The chances of that is not likely. Like what Bear did, most kids ain't gonna do that. But it's possible. It ain't like, you know, it's impossible. It's very possible, especially with Carline Jones, right? I said it's more possible with him because G.D. Abasiri, he young. G.D. Abasiri, I've been following him coming out of high school. And G.D. is a raw prospect. I think he only been playing football since his junior year. So G.D. Abasiri only been playing football like 3 years. He's from a whole nother country. I think he's from Ghana. I got to go back in my files, but I think he's from Ghana. You know what I'm saying? He just picked up football. He actually came to America to play basketball. So G.D. Abasiri is raw. You will project him to take a couple years to develop because he lacking the experience, right? So that's why I say Carline Jones is more likely. And then we got, you know, they going back and forth. So am I, but the rules in football have changed over the last 20 years. Everything is favoring throwing the ball. So, of course, you need all the wide receivers you could get in a pass-happy offense trying to win in a pass-happy sport. Also, they are set in the trenches, like it or not. Well, probably so. Especially in a hybrid defense like the run we're running now. Also, just because you play D1 doesn't mean you know anything about football. You couldn't have been that stud at badminton, but that don't mean you know football. Hey, I ain't gonna get into what they got going there personally, but some believe this is a good addition. Some believe like, man, what's up with the defensive lineman? Like, why are we getting wide receivers? And Illmatic Trojan basically finished his soliloquy off with championship football is still won or lost in the trenches. See, Michigan championship season past season, a case in point, McCarthy didn't pass nearly as much. They were a run-first football team and dominated the line of scrimmage just like Harbaugh did to us when he was at Stanford. I rest my case. You don't know nothing. Ooh, he kind of hit him with a sit down. Like, we all remember that Stanford upset took us out the national championship game. We all know the philosophy Jim Harbaugh applies work. Like, we first-hand victims to it started in the trenches. Stanford whooped up on us twice. I believe Harbaugh whooped up on us twice. Excuse the microwave. But yeah, so you can't say nothing about that. Like, the sport is won in the trenches. And when you talking about pass happy sport, that got to get put to the back burner, because this year, the last year, the most recent championship, a run first defensive centric team won the championship against a pass happy team easily. They went against a pass happy, right? They went against a pass happy Washington team. They got smacked 34-13. The game was never even really close when I look back at it. So a team that barely passed, run, a team that all its talent is focused on the offense and defensive line of scrimmage, whooped on a team with a darn near Heisman winning quarterback. I think he was runner up. 2 NFL first round type receivers. And an offensive coordinator coach that liked to pass the ball. Washington was a pass happy team for the first couple games. They running game was horrible. Then they finally got it up to par. You know what I'm saying? But Washington was a pass happy team, and we seen what happened when they went against a team that was centered in the trenches. They got whooped. A physical team that got talent in the trenches is always going to be the pass happy team. I think that's some of the point that some of USC fans be missing. Yeah, it's not negative to have wide receivers, right? But this still football, so it's still going to be won in the trenches. That's what we got to understand. No matter how many elite receivers we get, no matter how many Heisman Trophy, ask Lincoln Riley how many Heisman Trophy quarterbacks he had or runner-up, and then how many championships he got. So it don't matter how many first-round wide receivers you got, how great your quarterback is. If you ain't elite in the trenches, you just ain't gonna win. Can't nothing make up for not being elite in the trenches. Can't nothing make up for it. If the Kansas City Chiefs was weak in the trenches, as great as Patrick Mahomes is, they wouldn't win no Super Bowls. But they got Chris Jones and players like that in the trenches. So that's what I think the fans that be complaining every time we don't get a defensive lineman, that's what they focus on. And the other fans is focused on, okay, we do need depth at wide receiver. We got depth. So yeah, I like it. But what I don't think y'all realizing, these wide receivers ain't depth just in case injuries. The moment Jay Fair signed, that was less receptions for all our sophomores. The moment this kid signed, that's less reception, less snaps for all our sophomores. Because these guys are going to play. Because if you don't play your transfers, then the rumor going to be out in college that you get guys to transfer and don't even play them. Right? So you got to play the transfers. And you got to play your young studs, because then they going to transfer out. They got too much talent. You recruited and cultivated that. Like, you supposed to be developing them and playing them. So you got to play them. And we seen that. Look, Mario Williams was following Lincoln Riley everywhere. Then he said, you know what? I got to go somewhere where I got most snaps. So Mario Williams hit the transfer portal. Mario Williams played. Michael Jackson stuck around with Lincoln Riley for 2 years. Then he realized, like, I'm not getting enough snaps. He went to Georgia. He felt like he would get more snaps at Georgia than USC. right? Dorian Singer left after he came to USC. Googly eyed, was loving it, excited to play in a Lincoln Riley offense. That's why he said he transferred to play with a Lincoln Riley offense and to play with a quarterback like Caleb Williams. And they left. They left because they wasn't getting enough snaps. So it was like, is we gonna keep doing that? And we keep doing that, it's always gonna be wide receivers transferring in and out. And it's gonna be hard to produce any Biletnikoff winners. Remember, Jordan Addison had 113 catches, something like that, before he came to USC. Came to USC with Caleb Williams and only had 58. Right? Only had 58. So it's pros and cons to this. It's pros and cons to this, but I see both sides. I don't want to get too much of my opinion. This video is about the fan reaction and the fans' opinion. So people say that I'll be negative about the Trojans, but what I really do is I try to express the opinions of the fan base. When I talk about USC, it's about how the fan base, you know what I'm saying? What Kendrick Lamar say to Drake? I'm with the culture feeling. I'm just trying to be with the culture feeling. So when I'm on social media, when I'm in these comments, the culture be feeling like we need some defensive tackles. Anything else is just what they say in the comment. Lincoln Riley can't help himself. So Trojan fans that watch my video and be like complaining when I keep it real, hey, I'm just speaking up for the fans. I ain't the only one. Half our fan base be feeling like this. Either way, if you want to be positive about everything we do, encourage everything we do that. The whole fan base don't need to think alike. But this all comes from the love of USC. This all comes from we want to see USC win. So if we say something like, oh man, another wide receiver, because we feel like that ain't making us better. We feel like we want to see a signing that we feel like is going to help us win. Right? So that's where it come from. It don't come from, oh, hating or bashing Lincoln Riley. We just want to see this team win. And sometimes we'll see a signing like this and be like, this ain't going to really help us win no games. Like, the Vegas ain't finna change our win-loss total from another wide receiver. Our win-loss total might change with a dominant defensive tackle, right? Another dead piece. So at this point, a lot of fans don't think our roster is set to compete for a national championship. So when they see players commit and see USC going after players, they want to see players that can actually help us win another championship, right? So it's all love. USC fans, stop fighting with each other. We all want USC to win, but we all got different ideas on how they should go about it. And just because a fan don't agree with every signing, that don't mean he's a hater, he's a fan. He actually cares just as much as you, right? You care so much, you being optimistic, pro-optimistic about everything USC do. Like, USC can sign 10 more wide receivers. We could get 10 more wide receivers in the portal, and then some fans had to be like, I trust the coaches, what we do, we must need it. It's much something we don't know. It's probably something coming up the pike, right? So it's good to have both, but don't be mad at the fans that don't agree with you and got a different philosophy on how the team should be built. So until then, it's Carter Sports, it's Trojan City, it's USC. So let's go.